Welcome to Your Life Atelier. This is Your Life Atelier podcast, and I am recording this on Saturday afternoon, feeling very calm and relaxed because I've taken lots of drugs. No, not really. Because like a noticeable difference from yesterday. So, Rita, if you're just listening to this or watching this for the first time, Rita is my dog. If you're seeing the video, I'm just showing you her now. And Rita is very interesting to have in my life as a coach, as well as a dog partner, dog guardian, because her reactions to the world around her mean that I have this like visual representation of what my nervous system is also doing. So we moved to Toulouse almost 3 weeks ago from like super rural area, super quiet, to being next to the airport. And I mean, like the planes feel like they're going to land on my head. And also then being in a city for the first time in 3 years. We've had 3 years of pretty much continuous like French countryside or Spanish countryside. And number one, she is doing amazingly well. I'm incredibly proud of her. But number two, when I can see that she's like overwhelmed, she's like, "You're talking about me?" Yes, we're talking about you. When I can see that she's overwhelmed, and which is what happened yesterday. So I left her alone for a couple of hours and I came back, and when I took her to go for a walk, she was really nervous, really stressed. And I realized whatever had happened, whether it was just accumulated her background level of stress being higher and like stimulation with noise, new sounds, new things, less space, all of that, whether it was just all of that background stuff accumulating and then hitting a limit of her threshold, or whether something specific had happened that then set her off, her body was in fight or flight. And so it was a really good way for me to reflect and notice, wait a minute, I'm also experiencing all of these extra stimulations, even just going into the supermarket, like going from a tiny village where there's very little choice, and that's not a bad thing, to being in like massive supermarket with 20,000 different types of butter and just all these different things and like advertising and people and noise and lights and then traffic and wait a minute, like maybe I'm also overstimulated. So I just decided, okay, I'm going to clear everything for the next 2 days and just pretty much be at home with Rita, keep things very low key. After I record this, I'm going to have a Zoom call with a friend and do like a virtual glass of wine. She's in New York. Um, Yay, very excited. But just really like stop worrying about rushing into the new things, just pause and appreciate where I am. And that is very much due to having little Rita there as this visual reminder. So wherever you are right now, I definitely recommend just give yourself a moment to pause and just notice, what are all of the things happening around you? What's the background level of stimulation? And really think about like sensory things, noise, things happening in the news, what's happening on your phone. Something I did that just caused immediate relief, because one of the things we can do is like remove triggers, was I took a couple of apps off my phone. And that feeling that I now have of just like peace, I realized, it's because I created that by removing anything that was causing extra bits of stimulation, like those applications. And this week, I'm going to experiment with just putting the apps on my phone. For example, Instagram, I'm enjoying using it for work, but outside that, I don't really want to be using it. So I'm going to put it on my phone, 8 a.m. till 9 a.m., post, connect, do my thing, and then take it off again. The other place to think about is in your body. What's happening in terms of food, digestion? How do you feel? Another area that Rita was really overstimulated and maybe not feeling great is we haven't been able to get her food delivered here. So I've been cooking for her with the recipe that the food company gave me. But even if it's delicious, it's still a difference in her body. So she's probably not feeling great in terms of how her stomach is. So again, we can just look at ourselves and notice, are there any little changes or tweaks that we can make there? So that's just kind of our little intro. Topic today is about the atelier that we did this morning, which is making your impossible goals inevitable. I might divide this into a couple of separate episodes and release them over the week, actually. So, in fact, that might be a good place for us to pause for today, is just noticing, where do you want to feel more calm? Where do you want to feel more connection? And what are those little areas that you can look at? So if I give you a checklist here, let's look at, okay, how do you feel in your body? What are the external possible stimulations going on? What's the background level of noise, the background level of things, of events, your digital things? Where are you getting notifications? Where are you feeling your mind going? So I can tell you, my mind tends to go to, oh, I'll just open Instagram. And then if I remove Instagram, oh, I'll just open my podcasts. And if I remove the podcast, oh, I'll look at the news, at current affairs. Okay. So then if I remove those, at a certain point, I'm like, okay, now it's just me. Right. So rather than blaming individual applications or individual things, we can look at, okay, where is my brain going and what is it avoiding? Right. And actually, for me, when I'm then left alone with myself, oh, I'm avoiding the feeling of pressure to have everything sorted in my life, to have a complete set of friends ready, to have a complete set of, these are the places that I go to. This is what I'm doing. When I've just moved to the city 3 weeks ago, it's just been 3 weeks. Okay. So then when there's nothing else and I do just have that discomfort to deal with, I realized, like, okay, it's fine. That's normal. It's absolutely normal. And what I want to choose to do is to just create space to be with Rita, to be with myself. Today, I've done some yoga, I've done some journaling to create clarity, do some decluttering. And actually, that's what I want right now. So I will see you in our next episode, where we talk about the atelier today.